So in that way, Sri Advaitacharya Prabhu is Bhaktavata, incarnation as a devotee of Krishna. That is where he has proved that that is the highest position. Therefore, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, we are continuing from text number 100 in chapter 6. Krishnera samata hoite bada bhakta pada atma hoite Krishnera bhakta hoy premaspada. The position of being a devotee is higher than that of equality with Lord Krishna. For the devotees are dearer to Lord Krishna than his oneself. That means those who are devotees of the Lord, they are more dear to Krishna. Therefore, in this verse, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he quotes this verse from 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sadhava hridayam mayham sadhvanam hridayam tvamaham mad anyatena jananti naham tadbhavanavati. The devotees of the Lord are so dear to Krishna that Krishna does not know anything but his devotee. And for such a devotee, he also does not know, the devotee does not know anything but Krishna. This is the intimate relationship between Krishna and his devotees. And what brings dear, a devotee becomes dear to Krishna? Not because he is Krishna's father, not because he is Krishna's friend, not because of any relationship. Rather, the devotee's devotion brings him as the dearest to Krishna. So, in this connection, how the devotion of a devotee brings him near Krishna to become dearest devotee of the Lord. Now, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is going to give reference from Srimad Bhagavatam. Before that, he says, Atma haite Krishna bhakti bada karimani ihate bahut shastra vachana pramani. Lord Krishna considers his devotees greater than himself. In this connection, the scriptures provide an abundance of evidence. So if we say Krishna considers his devotees greater than himself, where is the proof in the Shastra that Krishna considers his devotees greater than even himself? Therefore, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving the evidence from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Krishna tells Udhava, Na tatha me priyatama atma jonir na sankaraha na cha sankarsana na srir naivatma cha jatha bhavan. He is speaking to Udhava, my dear Udhava, you are very dear to me. You are my dearest devotee. Nobody is as dear to me as you. Then he is giving a comparison. Not tatha, not like that. Means, as you are dear to me, not tatha me priyatama atmajoni. Atmajoni means the one who is born of Krishna. Who is born of Krishna? Krishna, when he expands himself in form of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, a lotus sprouts, and Lord Brahma is born on top of that lotus flower. So in that way, Brahma is the son of Krishna. In that way you can say. So even Brahma's son is not dear to him as Udhava is dear to him. As I said, even if somebody is related to Krishna through a particular relationship, that does not make him become dearest to Krishna. In this case, Brahma, Krishna is saying, even the Brahma is my son, but I don't consider he becoming as dear as you to me. And Sankara, even Lord Shiva, Srila Jiva Goswami, he speaks about Lord Shiva's position. Who is Lord Shiva? He says, I'll just read it out for you. He says, Sankaratena Sukha Suchanaya Sahacharyam. Means, Sam Mangalam Karati iti Shiva. Means, Lord Shiva has the capacity to bring auspiciousness in others' life. So in that way, Krishna also brings auspiciousness. To some degree, we can say Krishna and Shiva, they are very much close to each other. But still Krishna is saying, no, Shiva is not as dear to me as you are, my dear Udhava. Not Sankarsana, even not Sankarsana, no Sri, not goddess of fortune, who is the dearest, the consort of the Supreme Lord. And Naivatma cha yatha bhavan, as you are. That means, if we see, starting with Brahma, it's not that Brahma is not dear to the Lord, not that Shiva, even Sankarsana and Sri Lakshmi Devi, they are not dear to the Lord. They are dear to the Lord. But amongst all these devotees, Udhava is the dearest. Why? That means this gives us a very clear hint that according to the level of devotion, the degree of devotion, one becomes dearer to Krishna. So in this connection, Uddhava's bhakti, the devotion of Uddhava is topmost. That's how it has been defined as that neither Brahma, nor Shankar, nor Sankarshan, nor Lakshmi, nor even my oneself, Atmajoni. Naivatma. Here, Atma means he is saying even my oneself. That means, according to some Acharya's understanding, even the Vigraha form of the Lord is not as dear to Krishna as Uddhava is. So in that way, here Krishna is trying to establish the fact that the devotee who has higher devotion to me, they are more dear. So we got this lesson that if at all a devotee is desirous to become dearer to Krishna, then he should just increase the level of his loving devotional service unto Krishna. So here it is said, Srila Jiva Goswami is saying, Tato bhaktya dhikyat jatha bhavan priyatam. My dear Uddhava, because you have the highest degree of devotion, therefore, as you are dear to me, other devotees are not so dear to me. But according to Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, he says, Sarva Bhakteshu Madhye Uddhava. Here, the name of the devotee is mentioned like Brahma, Shankar, Sankarshan, Lakshmi Devi. Amongst all these devotees, Uddhava is the dearest. Okay? Sreshta, Uddhava Sreshta, Tasmad api Gopya. Gopya Sreshta. That means above Uddhava, Gopis and Vrindavan are even dearest. So that means the devotion of the Gopis is the topmost. That means in this connection, the dearness of a devotee is characterized by the degree of their loving devotion unto Krishna. Because Krishna is defined as Bhakti Vasha Purusha. Krishna is purchased by the love and devotion of his devotee. Uh, we know in Vrindavan, when Krishna was a small boy, he went to a man who was playing flute, and Krishna became uh, very much attracted to him. And many pastimes are there where we have seen Krishna, he is very much attached to those who possess loving devotion unto him. So having said that, now he continues, Krishna sammena hitar madhurya swadan bhakta bhave karitar madhurya charvan. The sweetness of Lord Krishna is not to be tested by those who consider themselves equal to Lord. It is to be tested only through the sentiment of servitude. As I mentioned, there are some gurus, there are some established people in the society who consider themselves equal to Krishna. But when somebody establishes oneself to be equal to Krishna, such a person cannot taste the sweetness of Lord Krishna. That means we can say one who has developed a deep devotion unto Krishna, one who has developed a deep servitude mood to Krishna, he has the capacity to taste the sweetness of Krishna. Why? You can ask this question that why a devotee who is more inclined in his sentiment to serve Krishna in devotional service, he actually tastes the sweetness of Krishna, because as we know, Krishna is Rasika Shekhar. Krishna is full of rasa. And when a devotee helps Krishna to taste the rasa, that in turn helps the devotee to taste the sweetness of Lord Krishna. Because as we said, Bhakti Vasa Purusha, Krishna is attracted by the loving devotion of his devotee. We can take a practical example. Actually, what happens in this material world, when a devotee serves the Lord in his capacity, he meets with different situations. And when a devotee realizes this fact that whether good or evil situations that I am facing is actually being controlled by Krishna. And we know this fact that without Krishna's desire, nothing happens in this world. That means anything is happening in my life, Krishna is actually involved with all those things. And when he sees Krishna, the one, he is trying to test the mood of surrender of the devotee unto him. When Krishna is trying to see, when my devotee is in such a situation, how he is remembering me through his loving devotional service. In any critical situation, he is still turning his face towards me, knowing I am his ultimate benefactor. That is how he is helping Krishna to release the rasa, Rasika Shekhara. This is one way of exchanging rasa. And then when the devotee, in whatever situation, in whatever condition, he connects himself with Krishna, then what happens? That is helping Krishna to release the taste of the devotion of the devotee. In that mood, Krishna, who is residing in the heart of the devotee, he also inspires the devotee to taste the sweetness of Krishna even better. That is the secret. That's how we have seen some devotees who are in the high consciousness, they actually see Krishna in all situations of their life. In that way, when one is in that mood, he cultivates that mood of seeing Krishna everywhere in every sphere of his life, then he's helping Krishna to test his rasa. That's how Krishna also helps the devotee to reach the sweetness of Krishna. Shastreira siddhantai विज्ञेर अनुभव मूढ़ लोक नहीं जाने भावेर वैभव. The conclusion of the revealed scriptures is also the realization of experienced devotees. Fools and rascals, however, cannot understand the opulences of devotional emotions, as we are discussing devotional emotions. Even though devotee is put into a very critical situation, but his devotional emotion always attaches him with Krishna. That kind of attachment to Krishna and the devotee is rendering devotional service unto Krishna helps Krishna release the rasa. When a person is liberated in the sarupya form of liberation, having a spiritual form exactly like Vishnu, it is not possible for him to relish the relationship of Krishna's personal associates in their exchanges of mellows. The devotees of Krishna, however, in their loving relationships with Krishna, sometimes forget their own identities. Sometimes they think themselves one with Krishna and yet relish still greater transcendental mellow in that way. People in general, because of their foolishness only, try to become masters of everything, forgetting the transcendental mellows of servitorship to the Lord. When a person is actually advanced in spiritual understanding, however, he can accept the transcendental servitorship of the Lord without hesitation. The last point. When a person is actually advanced in spiritual understanding, spiritual understanding means in every situation, he is able to see his connection with Krishna. In every situation, he is able to feel Krishna's presence. Just few days back, I was talking to a devotee. I said, "How are you, Prabhu?" He said, very interesting point. He said, whatever happens in our life, especially in Mayapur Dham, Krishna is actually, cleansing us. It's a cleansing process. There's nothing to lose. Everywhere, in every situation, there's profit for us. See, spiritual understanding. He's fixed in the position. So in that way, that is the position of having attended transcendental servitorship of the Lord. So he continues further. Bhakta Bhavangikari Balaram Lakshman Advaita Nityananda Sesha Sankarasan Krishnera Madhurya Rasamrita Korepan Sei Sukhe Matta Kichu Nahi Janayan. So, as we said, the position of being devotee of the Lord is the highest type of experience of bliss. The proof is even the Baladev, Lakshman, Advaitacharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Sesha, Sankarshan, They are actually equal to the Lord, right? Even though they are equal to the Lord, but still they always have this relationship with Krishna as his servant. Baladev, he is a servant of Krishna. Lakshman, he is servant of Lord Ramachandra. Advaitacharya, he is Bhakta Avatar, he is a servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu, also he is servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shesha, he is serving Krishna. Similarly, Sankarsana. So all these personalities who are actually equal to Supreme Lord, but they taste the nectarian mellows of the transcendental bliss of Lord Krishna by recognizing themselves as being his devotees and servants. They are all made with that happiness, and they know nothing else. So this is a very good message for us, the people who pose themselves as equal to the Lord. They should be given these references that there are lords like Baladev, Lakshman, Advaitacharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Shesha, Sankarshan, who are equal to the Lord. They relish the highest form of transcendental bliss by recognizing themselves being the devotee and servant of the Supreme Lord. Then why these people, they are simply falsely claiming to occupy the position of being equal to the Lord? That in that way they cannot successfully relish the transcendental bliss. So he continues, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, text number 107. Annera achuk karye, annera achuk karya, apane Sri Krishna, apana madhurya pane ho, haila satrishna. What to speak of others? Even Lord Krishna himself becomes thirsty to taste his own sweetness. Right? We can see again here in this connection, we need to understand one thing, that Krishna in Vrindavan, when he performs his, especially in Bhama Vrindavan, we can say, in his manifest pastime, he performs his pastime with the devotees in Vrindavan. At that time, he experiences Vishaya Sukha, Krishna being Vishaya. But Ashraya Janita Sukha is not experienced by Krishna. Gopis, they are the Ashraya, Krishna Prem, Ashraya of Krishna Prem, right? So then when Krishna, he was not able to taste the Ashraya Sukha of Krishna Prema, that time he desired to come as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? What to speak of others? Even Lord Krishna himself became thirsty to taste his own sweetness. So therefore he has to come as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what happened? He assumed the mood of his topmost devotee, Srimati Radharani. Again, the devotee's devotion is actually bringing him as the dearest to Krishna, right? Devotee devotion. So in that way, Krishna even wanted to test his own sweetness by assuming the deep devotion of his devotee. So in that way, he himself is not so dear to himself. Like he was telling to Udhava, that you are even more dear to me than even myself. This is a concrete example. Therefore, Krishna had to come as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Somadhurya swadite karena jatan bhakta bhava vinu maheta aswadan. He tries to taste his own sweetness, but he cannot do so without accepting the emotions of a devotee, that is Krishna. Purport: Lord Sri Krishna wanted to relish the transcendental mellow of a devotee, and therefore he accepted the role of a devotee by appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So therefore, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is topmost. Ah, therefore, in our Sampradaya, you have seen, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Thakur, he established Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu alongside the deity of Radha and Krishna in many of his centers. And like in Mayapur also we have, right? Sri Radha Madhav is there, next Radha Madhav, there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ah, ah. भक्त भाव अंगीकरी हैला अवतीर्ण श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य रूपे सर्वभाव पूर्ण. Therefore, Lord Krishna accepted the position of a devotee and descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya, who is complete in every respect. This is just to test the mellow of Krishna consciousness. We are saying that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is complete in every respect. We don't accept Krishna is complete in every respect because Radharani is not there in Krishna, according to Rasagata Vichar. But in case of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radharani is also there, right? Radha Krishna Militatan. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakti Rasma Ekatmana Mapi Pura Dev Vedam Katoku Chaitanyakyam Prakatamadana Tadvayam Chaikamaptam. That two, Radha and Krishna, Eka Chaikamaptam, they become united and have appeared in form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is complete in every respect. Therefore, in Krishna consciousness movement, we recommend all our devotees to worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When you worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the complete worship is done. Worship Radha and Krishna is achieved, attained. And when we worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being very compassionate. He does not take any offense. Rather, he empowers the devotees to approach Radha and Krishna through worshipping him. He is complete in every respect. Therefore, we should worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nana Bhakta Bhave Krishner Swamadhurya Pan Purve Kariyachi Siddhanta Vyakhyan. He tastes his own sweetness through the various emotions of a devotee. I have formally explained this conclusion. Purport: Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Sri Gaurahari, is complete in relishing all the different mellows, namely neutrality, servitorship, fraternity, parental affection, and conjugal love. By accepting the ecstasy of different grades of devotees, he is complete in relishing all the mellows of these relationships. Avatar Ganera Bhakto Bhave Adhikar Bhakta Bhava Hoite Adhika Sukha Nahi. All the incarnations are entitled to the emotions of devotees. There is no higher bliss than this. It's a very interesting point. All the incarnations like Nityananda Prabhu, Advaitacharya Prabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, Shivas Thakur, they are all incarnations having the emotion of devotee. In this way, they taste the higher bliss. All the different incarnations of Lord Vishnu have the right to play the roles of servitors of Lord Krishna by descending as devotees. When an incarnation gives up the understanding of his godhood and plays the part of a servitor, he enjoys a greater taste of transcendental mellows than when he plays the part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. मूल भक्त अवतार श्री संकर्षण भक्त अवतार तही अद्वैत गणान. The original Bhakta avatar is Sankarsana. Shadvaita is counted among such incarnations. Purport. Although Sri Advaita Prabhu belongs to the Vishnu category, he displays servitorship to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as one of his associates. When Lord Vishnu appears as a servitor, he is called an incarnation of a devotee of Lord Krishna. Sri Sankarshan, who is an incarnation of Vishnu in the spiritual sky, known as the Greater Vaikuntha, is the chief of the quadruple incarnations and is the original incarnation of a devotee, Lord Mahavishnu, who is lying on the causal ocean, is a manifestation of Sankarsana. He is the original personality of Godhead who glances over the material and efficient causes of the cosmic manifestation. Advaita Prabhu is accepted as an incarnation of Mahavishnu. All the plenary manifestations of Sankarsana are indirect expansions of Lord Krishna. That consideration also makes Advaita Prabhu an eternal servitor of Gaura Krishna. Therefore, he is accepted as a devotee incarnation. Advaita Acharya Gosai Mahima Apar Jahar Hum Kare Kaila Chaitanya Avatar. The glories of Advaita Acharya are boundless, for his sincere vibrations brought about Lord Chaitanya's descent upon this earth. Sankirtana Pracharya Savajagat Tarila Advaita Prasade Loko Prema Dhano Pailo. He liberated the universe by preaching Sankirtana. Thus, the people of the world received the treasure of love of Godhead to the mercy of Sri Advaita. So, Advaita Prabhu, upon seeing the conditioned nature of the people of this age of Kali, he called for Chaitanya. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, under Mahaprabhu's instruction, Sri Advaita Prabhu also helped Mahaprabhu to spread the glories of chanting the holy name of the Lord. In that way, he also released treasure of love and he also distributed it to others. So this mercy of Advaita is also very important. As we know, when a devotee first approaches his spiritual master instructs him to perform sadhana bhakti. And as he grows in Krishna consciousness, gradually he becomes purified. He comes to a point when Guru Maharaj also directs him to take shelter of Advaita. Then when he takes shelter of Advaita, whatever little remaining impurities are still there, material affections are still there. By taking shelter of Advaita, he becomes completely freed. Or we can say by the mercy of Advaita, the devotee comes to the platform of Shuddha Sattva, that is when Nityananda Prabhu takes charge of such a devotee. So in that way, you can see the remaining trace of material infections are cleared by the grace of Advaitacharya, and also by the grace of Advaitacharya, the devotee comes to the platform of Shuddha Sattva, where Nityananda Prabhu takes charge of such a devotee, and under the guidance of Nityananda Prabhu, who is also representing Guru Tattva, then the devotee is actually coming to serve Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Advaitacharya is actually helping the devotee also. He is also representing Guru Tattva. Advaita Mahimananta ke pare kahite sei likhi jai suni mahajana hoite. Who can describe the unlimited glories of Advaitacharya? I write here as much as I have known from great authorities. Acharya charane mor koti namaskar, ithe kichu aparadha na lobe amar. I offer my obeisances 10 million times to the lotus feet of Sri Advaitacharya. Please do not take offense at this. Tamara mahima ko koti samudra gad, tahar ichha kahi, tahar yatta koi e bado parad. Your glories are as fathomless as millions of oceans and seas. Speaking of its measure is a great offense indeed. Jaya 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 Sri Advaita Acharya, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Arya. All glories to Sri Advaita Acharya, all glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the superior Lord Nityananda. Dui shloke kahila dvaita tattva nirupan, panchatatvire vichara kichu suna bhaktagan. Thus, in 2 verses, I have described the truth concerning Advaitacharya. Now, O devotees, please hear about the 5 truths, Panchatattva. Shiru Paragunat Padejaras Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, 6th chapter, describing the glories of Sri Advaitacharya. So we have completed chapter 6, the glories of Sri Advaitacharya. Then in the next class, we'll start with chapter 7, Lord Chaitanya in 5 features. If you have any questions or comment, we can spend some time discussing some questions. Any question or comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandaprana.
Govinda Prabhu.
Prabhuji, during this session, you mentioned some time back that we have to pray to Advaita Acharya as a devotee, and then after our sincere prayers, Nityananda Prabhu will take care of us afterwards. Like, are we really praying to Advaita Acharya?
No. I was explaining. You see, it's going to be discussed in the next chapter also. See, he represents also Guru Tattva. Means when a devotee, see, Guru, how he manifests in the life of a devotee and guides him gradually to become free from the material contaminations to come to the platform of Shuddha Sattva, that is when he is able to serve Krishna. So the system is, when we take shelter of a spiritual master, he actually, through his instructions and guidance, engages the sadhaka in the execution of Krishna Bhakti. And as he progresses, until he comes to a point where a little bit of his material contaminations remain, at that time, in form of Advaitacharya, actually he is cleansed of that remaining of contaminations. And then he actually, by the mercy of Advaitacharya, who is also manifested in the Guru Tattva, he is actually helping us as one of the manifestations of Guru Tattva to come to the platform of Shuddha Sattva. That is the time when Nityananda Prabhu he takes over. Guru Maharaj actually is playing the role of all this. See, he is servitude Godhead, no? Our Guru. So in that way, he is serving in this way, fulfilling the mission of Sri Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by qualifying the disciples to gradually become freed of the material contaminations and finally be engaged in the eternal service of Krishna.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Bankim Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, lot of things going in my mind. Prabhu, it is said that Lord says that, he says Udhava is above all, above Brahma, Lakshmi and everybody. So he considers Udhava so close. So what is my doubt is, why only Udhava? There are other exalted characters in his pastimes, like Arjuna or Kushalan. I forgot the name, Kushalan. His friend, close friend. We call him Kuchelan here. So there are many other the Yudhishthira is there. So why Udhava is only given that kind of importance, where others not so close with did they not have the mood of servitorship? Or see, in fact, all the Pandavas, 5 Pandavas are also in the same mood. So how to understand this, Prabhu?
See, when Uddhav tried to understand Uddhav's position, in this case, Uddhav is glorified. You see the mood of the Uddhava. When he was sent to Vrindavan to meet with the devotees and to kind of console them, they are all heartbroken because of the separation they were going through. And when he came and met with different devotees in Vrindavan, finally he came to kind of, meet the gopis. What was Uddhava's mood? He glorified gopis' love to Krishna to such a degree that he said, I desire to be born as Lata Gulma Aushadhi in the track of land of Vrindavan, so that one day I will be fortunate to smear my body to the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis. That's why, because gopis are the topmost devotee, and this is how you can see the Uddhava's mood is manifesting, and this is very much liked by Krishna, because gopis are the dearest devotee of Krishna. So in that way, Krishna himself is saying, Uddhava, you are very dear to me, because you have understood how gopis are dear to me, or how much they love me. You have understood this actually. Even Vishmadev, you see, Vishmadev, who he is glorifying? He is glorifying the gopis, right? So in that way, Udhava has a very unique position. Even Duskrinam Pravaro Mantri, Daita Sakha. He is Daita Sakha, very dear friend of Krishna. So everybody, definitely they have their dearness to Krishna because of their devotion. But here, as we know, Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhur. Madhur is the highest form of devotion, right? So the Udhava is actually very close to kind of help Krishna to relate to that kind of loving exchanges with the devotees. So Krishna likes Udhava very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. So with all the devotees around him, I mean, Krishna treated Uddhava so exalted. So how do I mean, although we are doing all this kind of devotion service, to understand the mood of gopis is not very easy. This is what I understand. So how do we really understand that, Prabhu? Although we
No, you don't have to understand it right now. What you need to do is you try to understand. This is a very important point. If we try to understand by applying our own desires, we may fall trap to become a sahajya. And we may commit some mistake. We will not recognize that I am dependent on my personal endeavor to come to that position. Actually, you cannot imitate the gopis, neither you can even follow them. You see, what happens is, this sadhana bhakti, what we are performing, sadhana bhakti is meant to bring us to the platform of bhava, and that bhava is awakened in the heart of a sadhaka through his execution of bhakti. And that is Krishna's mercy or Krishna. See, sometimes it is attained by Krishna tad bhakta matrika labha Krishna tad bhakta karuna labha matrika hetuka. Okay. Bhakta Samta Sindhu says, Krishna tad bhakta karunya labha matrika hetuka. You cannot say that, oh, you are desiring, that's why that is the hetu of for you becoming a follower of the gopis or come to the platform, Raganuga platform, that's how you serve Krishna. That is not the way. The sadhana bhakti practice is going to bring to a certain level, okay? After that, Krishna tad bhakta karunya labha matrika hetuka. Whatever devotional service we are doing within the realm of our sadhana bhakti, the goal is to attain the mercy of Krishna or Krishna's devotee. For us, I would say even Krishna's devotee is better. Not that Krishna's mercy I want to get. No, that will become very, impudent behavior. Therefore, in our organization, this hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, this Chaitanya Charitamrita is very important, actually, I can tell you. That will clear the way, path. We need to understand these things very clearly. Why Sravanam has been given so much importance in our sadhana bhakti practice? These are the clue.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Sadhan bhakti hoy sarva anartha nivartan, anartha nivritti hoile, bhakti nishta hoy, bhakti hoite, savanadye, ruchi upajoy, ruchi hoite, bhakti hoy, asakti prachur, asakti hoite, Krishna janme prityankur. Where it is starting? From sadhus and everything is starting. It's very good. Chaitanya is actually very interesting and very, 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 you can say, profound scripture. Very clearly defined all these aspects.
Thank you, Prabhu. So I think we have to simply depend on the mercy of the Vaishnavas. That's it.
Krishna tad bhakta karana labha matrika hetuka. Nothing else. Very clear. Rupa Goswami is saying. We are Rupanuga, right? Rupa Goswami is saying this. Many times we become very much dependent on our personal endeavors. Well, personal endeavor has to be there. For what? To attain the mercy of the devotee and Krishna. Okay. Silas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Prabhupada, thank you for a wonderful class. We've missed you really for the last month or so, so thank you for restarting. We've been in the desert of the wilderness without you. Two questions, Prabhuji. Just forgive me for my ignorance here. So we learned and read here today that the Lord considers, or Krishna Das Kaviraj also describes, that the incarnations of Krishna themselves consider themselves to be servitude mood, including Sankarshan and Mahavishnu as servitude mood, or as even though they're one and the same. For us as devotees, we should see them in one and the same, or also worship them in servitude mood to Krishna. How should we see Lord Sankarshan, Lord Mahavishnu, Lord Nityananda Prabhu? Should we see them as non-different, or should we see them in servitude mood to Krishna? How should we worship? What should be our mood to when we worship them?
Who you are worshipping?
So when we pray or any on Nityananda Triyodashi, we should be.
You see, that is
worshipping
your personal Anusilan. I cannot interact with that, you two, with that. Here, the point of discussion here is that when a kind of, whether even if he is an incarnation or a Sangsar, even Vivinnangsha, they can experience the highest form of bliss when they assume the mood of servitude. Servitorship has the highest form of experience in Krishna consciousness. That is the message for us. You see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come in the mood of a devotee, right? Therefore, some devotees, they kind of worship Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like that. That is one mood, because they feel, no, we don't want to disturb the mood of Mahaprabhu because he is calm in the mood of the devotee. So in that way, you serve him, he will release kind of, his rasa better, because we are helping him to release that rasa. That is one mood. Some others say, no, he is Krishna himself. So we see him, serve him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's another mood. So which one is right and which one is wrong? No, both are right in their place. There is nothing that wrong. How you are helping him to release his mood? That's why you see the Shastra, in scripture there are different things are mentioned. For what? Shastra is meant to ultimately bring you to attain your spiritual goal. If you are following everything as per Guru Sabha and Shastra, that will bring you to your defined spiritual goal. So you have to find out from your Guru. What is your mood, how you cultivate it, how you serve them.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.